Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an M53 M55. It's the Tier 9 American SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and this one is under the command of SlyMeerkat. And he's in platoon with Just Flankit in the Object 430. Oh no, he's in the Skoda T50, and Bird Person in the Object 430. Game started. Okay, he's just getting out of the way of that GW Tiger. Okay, the M53 M55. This is the M55. It's got the 8-inch howitzer, and he's capable of doing 1050 alpha, penetrating 52mm of armor, and he's got a burst radius of 11.1 meters and a loading time of 32.89 seconds. Now, you may be familiar with this replay because it was the one featured on Klaus Kellerman's channel. And we asked if it'd be okay if we could feature it as well, because after all, we're a dedicated Arty channel and we could analyse it from an Arty perspective. Okay, well, first target's come to view. It's an IS-7. Sly moves the reticule over his direction, lines it up, works out where the IS-7's going, and rounds out. That's a direct hit. He lost sight of the IS-7 briefly, but he knew the guy was pulling back, and he just laid it behind the guy's track, and he just drove straight into it. Okay, well, Sly's not moving to any cover, and that can be dangerous for an Arty, because if you get spotted, then you're going to get counter-batteried. He's looking near the railway line for any new targets. In fact, now he's gone to counter-battery to see if he can spot where one of the 3 enemy Artys is located. Up on top of the hill, we've got a char future 4. Slides loaded, ready to go. Just needs to target something. Lost sight of the char future, so he can't hit that guy, but he could go back to that IS-7. He's still in sight. Dialing in. Work out where he's going. Rounds out. It lands right in front of him for 326 hit points. But it is a hidden. It tracked the guy. Oh, and that's the Su-14 too. So he obviously got spotted by his tracer. He's lost 341 hit points, but he's still in operation. But technically now he's a one-shot, so he does need to change position after he shoots to avoid being taken out of the game. There's 3 Arty on the enemy team, an FB3805, a GW Tiger, both tier 9, and an Su-14-2, which is tier 8. That's the guy who hit him. Okay, Centurion 7-1, tier 9 British medium, up on top of the hill. He's dialing in. He's been tracked, fires a round in and moves straight away. And oh, that's a penetrating round. 1,130 hit points of damage. Definitely went in the guy. It's a high roll as well. And we can see Just Flankit is passing him, moving over to the east side of the map, whilst Bird Person's doing spotting up at the centre line. Now, the reason that this replay was actually featured by Klaus Kellerman was he was looking for the most OP Arty at tier 9. And he considered this is quite an OP Arty, mainly because of the damage it actually does and the assist. In fact, at the time, this was, funnily enough, the most highest damage game for an M53 M55 during that month, and that's why Klaus picked it up. It'd been sitting in my playlist to turn into a video since the 26th of June. Klaus did it just recently. Oh, that was a near miss for 425 hit points on the 705, and he took some damage just shortly afterwards, but he's still in the game. Another enemy has been spotted, a Leopard 1 up near the centre line. Okay, Sly's dialing in. He's having a look at that Centurion 1 for starters, and he's marked it as target. You put the reticule over the target and then press the T key. If you do that over land, you get those aiming circles, which actually advises your teammates to stay away from that spot because it's about to get stunned or splashed. There's the Leopard. He's trying to work out where he's going, work out his track, work out where he's headed. Rounds out. Lovely hit, that one. 444 hit points right in his track. He knew exactly where he was going to be, put the shell ahead of him, and wham, hit the guy in the side. Now, good Arty players are able to anticipate what the enemy will do and react accordingly and fire a shell in their path. And it looks like somebody up on the hill just fired a round at the Centurion 1, who was over near the railway crossing, and got a hit, because we saw a shell flash in from the right and then disappear. It stopped. So somebody got hit. There's that Leopard 1 again, and it sounds like the explosion that happened just a short distance away from us, that the enemy is still trying to counter battery us. He's going for the Leopard. If he's coming towards us or going away from us, that makes him very vulnerable. And he's trying to work out his track. Oh, he's turning, but we've got another target up on top of the hill. It's an IS-7. I think that might be the same IS-7 who was down near the centre. He fires around at him and pulls away, but because he pulled away so quickly, we didn't get to see what happened to that shell, and I don't think he hit the target. We do advise players to watch what happens to their shells, mainly because you need to learn if you actually did hit the target, but it was a blind hit. Now he's gone to a quick counter battery there to see if he can spot any traces. Nothing in sight. Check all the usual places where Arty can be located. We've actually created maps which show where those spots are. Helps the Arty players to locate new firing positions that they can use in the game. There's that Leopard 1 again. Oh, he's coming towards us. And it's much easier to work out where they are. Oh, he killed him! Yep, direct hit. Wiped him out this time. When they're coming towards you and they're going away from you, they're going in a straight line, and that makes it much easier to anticipate their track and nail them with a shot directly in their path. As you can see, the enemy Arty is having a bit of difficulty trying to catch SlyMeerkat out at the moment. Now, if you don't know, SlyMeerkat actually owns a pair of meerkats. Toffee and Fudge. They're real meerkats. And they live together with him in his flat in London. Object 705. Lining him up. Get the red line over the target. That house is getting in the way. Fires around in. And gets a hit. 265. He did pull out of Arty view, so we didn't get to see the actual impact, but we could see in the distance that 705 did lose a lot of hit points, and he got wiped out the next second by the GW Tiger, who was also looking at the same target. And that's another reason why Arty players tend to indicate which target they're aiming at, because if one indicates that I'm aiming at that specific target, then the other Arties might do the same, and then you get coordinated fire which will take an enemy out. He's doing a bit of quick counter battery there, looking for enemy tracer. Just on the other side of the railway line, there's a little spot up in the right-hand corner. You can see there, top right-hand corner. That's an Arty firing position. They're near the bank, near the river, and also in the bushes next to the railway line. He's having a quick look up on the hill. Doesn't appear to be anything in sight at the moment, so not worth firing a shell in. But he has actually done so. And he pulled away just before he started moving, so we didn't get to see if he actually did get a hit there. Now, unfortunately, we lost Bird Person during the game. The Object 430, he was up at the centre line and he did get taken out by the enemy. And now he's gone back to counter battery. Now, there's a trick that our counter battery we like to do. Is press the V key. And look what happens. You can see everything very clearly. There's no distractions. And then it's much easier to see the tracer. And there's the tracer to his right, just behind the cap area. And I don't think Sly saw it. Just behind the clap area, slightly to the left of the rear. It's just in the corner of the screen right now. In the centre, there's an enemy Arty in there. And we'll put the visuals back on by pressing the V key. But it's definitely there. There's definitely an Arty in the field of frame at the moment. Let's press the V key again. We might see the tracer as he fires. No, he didn't stay long enough to see it. So if you're an eagle-eyed Arty player, you do get to spot those things. And he got a hit on the Char Future 4 as he was retreating. That little tank hasn't got much in the way of armour, so any shell lands near him is going to do a lot of damage. This is another section of the map where Arties tend to hide. So he's having a quick look in this corner to see if there's anything here. Let's say you can do that trick with the V key again. Makes it much easier to see the tracer when they fly out of the Arties. He's marked the spot he's looking at with the T key. Looking for that tracer. Nothing in sight so far. So I say there is one near the cap area at this moment, but Sly didn't see it at the time. He was focusing very hard, but you need great peripheral vision to scan an entire area very, very closely. He's fired a round in, and no result off that one. There are 3 tanks ahead of the enemy at the moment, so they are doing well. Okay, he's gone back to counter battery. And enemy Centurion 1 has been seen. So he's going to try and get a shot on that guy. T-30 on the enemy team just killed our Ferdinand. Now work out where he's going. Lay the shell across his path. And he's loaded. Rounds out straight away. And he got a direct hit. The shell disappeared without an explosion. And that's an indication of a direct hit. I'll just have to wait to the end of battle results to see how much damage that did. And he's pulled back to avoid counter battery. Right, Charfuture's been seen. Oh, he's wiped out. And it appears that we've actually captured most of the east side of the map now. There's the tracer again. And Sly's missed it. Definitely saw the tracer that time. In fact, actually, what I will do is I'll run that back so you can see it for yourself. And the enemy Su-14-2 just came into sight as I did that. We'll run it back again. Run it back a few seconds. But watch just behind the enemy cap. And you'll see the tracer suddenly appear when he looks at the cap area. There it is. You see that? That's the tracer of an Arty. Arty player would spot that right away and be on the target. There's the Su-14-1. He was in the frame, firing from that corner. And before Sly can fire, he's taken out the game. But that Centurion 1 is a one-shot. And he only needs to lay the shell near him to kill him. There he is. Line him up. Rounds out. And no result. No, he didn't touch the Centurion. That's annoying. It looked to be perfectly on target. But the Centurion has been taken out by the GW Tiger. Okay, so there's still 2 Arties out there. 3 tank destroyers, a Gorilla 15, a T-30 and a Striv S1. Looks like that Arty's moved because the object 2684 didn't find him. And there's a Gorilla 15. He fires around ahead of his path. And it splashes him for 252. Just changing position once more. In fact, actually, it looks like Sly's decided to get closer to the enemy. So his reaction time will be smaller, quicker rather. So you can actually get shots on target right away. A lot of Arty players in the end game will do what Klaus says, is they will propel their Arty towards the enemy, find a good firing position that's close to the enemy and wipe them out. Sometimes they get a chance to shotgun the enemy too. Okay, he's really close now. He's close to the center line and he's anticipating that one of his team is going to locate those enemy Arty. His teammates are indicating a grid square C2, and there might be somebody in there. The 416 is sitting near a ridge line. The Striv 1030 is moving up the tree line, and he's got the Scorpion G with him. Looking for tracer. There's one of them, it's T30, and he's in B2. Oh, we just killed our 416, but that round damaged him just before he got killed. 530 hit points, that's a good shot. There's only 4 enemies left now. And, well, that's the clock ticking down the last minute. They've got to move now. If they don't get a move on, they're going to lose this game. It'll end up being a draw, rather. There's the strip. He's not loaded yet, but there's a GW Tiger in the distance. And Sly's deciding instead to go for the strip S1. Rounds out. That's a kill. So only 2 enemies left. They just got to drive in there and kill them quick. Sly probably won't get a chance to reload before the end of the game, but he might get 1 shot off if he's lucky. 1 target in sight already, the FV3805, but I think he wants that Gorilla 15. He's going to have 1 more shot before the game ends. Well, the FV3805's dead. Now aiming at the Gorilla 15. 7 seconds left. 6, 5. He fires. Wounds the Gorilla 15. And he gets killed as the clock goes to 0. What a close ending that was. Just as the clock hit 0, the Gorilla 15 died, and that wins them the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's an ace tanker for SlyMeerkat in the M53, M55. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 19. He got a Gore's medal for doing more damage than 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. He got the Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And he also picked up the High Caliber. And as I said, this was the highest scoring Arty game for quite some time, actually, at tier 9. And it's a very high amount of damage. Let's have a look at the team score and you'll see exactly how much it was. 6,346 hit points of damage. A lot of those blind shots that he hit did connect with the enemy and obviously did a huge amount of damage in the process. The next high scorer was the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team with 3,510, and after that it was the GW Tiger on his own team with 2,391. When it came to kills, it was the GW Tiger who shared the top spot with the T30 on the enemy team, 4 kills each. The Object 2684 managed to get 3 kills, and 2 kills went to Sly, the Scorpion G on his own team, the Gorilla 15 and the Char Future 4 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, it was Sly who did the best because he did the most damage. 1,281 base for him, 1,007 to the SU-14-2 and 992 to the Rheinmetall Scorpion. Sly fired 17 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits, 2 penetration, 13 splash. Damage of 6,346 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 1 hit by way of splash damage. That came from the SU-14-2, and obviously it was based on his tracer. The Scorpion, the SU-14-2 rather, must have seen his tracer because he wasn't spotted. No sixth sense went off. And he damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did 1,349 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 48,203 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, he actually took away 37,274 credits. He received 1,281 XP, got ×2 for the first victory, 288 for playing in the platoon, took away 4,132 experience points altogether. And of course, Sly was in platoon with other teammates. We can see the bird person is 430. He got 197 hit points of damage. He did get a kill and 478 base. And just flank it in the Skoda T50, got 1,552 hit points of damage. No kills, but 560 base out of the game. So well played by them as well. If you enjoyed that replay, I think actually that Klaus did as well when he saw it. It is an interesting game. Please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and I'll leave a link to Klaus's channel so you can see his the video from his perspective. Obviously Klaus is not a full-time Arty player like us, so he doesn't see it the way we see it, and he didn't see the tracer that we saw, and I think most of our players actually saw that tracer straight away. I don't know why Sly didn't pick it up, because he is actually a good Arty player, and so he should have seen it, but I suppose in the heat of the battle sometimes you miss those sort of things. But it just takes a sniper's eye, an Arty person's eye, to spot the tracer coming out of the barrel, and then obviously you can take out the enemy Arty. And if you're interested in counter battery, I did do a video about a replay I had recently, a game I played in the last couple of weeks, where I actually counter-batteried all 3 of the enemy Arty in my Hummel on the Pilsen map, and it shows you just how you can do it and look for the tracer and spot them and take them out. So, thanks very much for watching.